In what specific way did Ecowas fail? Did they give up? Or will they do something following this summit? Let's investigate. In the early days of July 2024, something historic happened in the Sahel. The inaugural summit of the heads of state of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a coalition working to promote stability, security, and prosperity in the region, was scheduled to take place in Niamey, the capital of Niger. Leaders from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger convened for this first summit, which marked the beginning of a new phase of regional collaboration. But given AES's history, how significant is this? A common goal for a stable, safe, and wealthy Sahel area gave rise to the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. The semi-arid Sahel region, which stretches across Africa from the Atlantic to the Red Sea, has long been a focus of geopolitical attention and a hotspot for a number of social, economic, and security issues. Includes Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, have experienced a variety of challenges, from economic instability and climate change to terrorism and warfare, as the pressing necessity for group action. Speaking passionately, he emphasized that the success of the Sahel countries in the future hinged on their capacity to cooperate given their shared history and destiny. Traoré listed the main concerns that needed to be resolved, which included social advancement, economic growth, and security. Applause greeted his address, demonstrating the broad support for his vision of cooperation and unity. Colonel Assimi Goïta, Mali's acting head of state, took the podium after Traoré's speech. The main topics of Goïta's speech were the security issues the area is currently facing, especially the threat posed by terrorism and insurgency. He outlined the government of Mali's current countermeasures and emphasized the value of regional cooperation in bolstering security. In order for the member states to combine their resources and intelligence in order to more effectively combat security threats, Goïta urged for the creation of a joint military task force inside the framework of the AES. His proposition was warmly welcomed, demonstrating a firm belief in community security. During the opening session, the last speaker was Niger's Brigadier General Chiani. Sustainable growth and economic development were the main topics of his speech. In order to increase economic resilience, Chiani emphasized the significance of investing in infrastructure and technology, as well as the effects of climate change on the region's agricultural productivity. Among the many ideas he put out were the establishment of a regional development bank and the encouragement of intra-regional trade. The audience responded favorably to Chiani's emphasis on economic cooperation, demonstrating a common understanding that economic integration is necessary to maintain stability and prosperity over the long run. A series of working sessions and panel discussions ensued after the ceremonial remarks. The purpose of these meetings was to create practical plans and go deeper into particular topics. Government officials and representatives of civil society participated in these debates with experts from a variety of sectors, including security, economics, and social development. An extensive interchange of ideas and the development of workable solutions were made possible by the interactive approach. Colonel Goïta's suggestion to create a combined military task force was one of the main points of conversation. With in-depth presentations on the situation of security today and the capacities of each member state, the security session was especially rigorous. While discussing different forms of military cooperation, the participants took cues from other regional organizations. Everyone agreed that a strong and flexible task force was necessary to react quickly to new threats. In order to stop the flow of weapons and rebels, the talks also emphasized the need of intelligence sharing and the requirement for increased border security. Economic growth was another crucial area of attention. During the Economic Partnership session, strategies for boosting investment and trade within the Sahel were discussed. The participants talked about trade tariffs, inconsistent regulations, and inadequate infrastructure as obstacles to intra-regional trade. In order to facilitate the flow of people and commodities, there was a major emphasis on the need to upgrade transportation networks, such as roads and trains. A thorough debate of the concept of creating a regional development bank included topics such as its possible composition, sources of funding, and areas of concentration. The bank would support small and medium-sized businesses, encourage innovation and the use of new technologies, and provide funding for large-scale infrastructure projects. Social protection, healthcare, and education were among the topics covered in the social development session. The panelists acknowledged that investing in people is necessary for sustainable development. Enhancing girls' access to high-quality education, especially in underprivileged communities, was a topic of discussion. The significance of skill development and vocational training was also emphasized, considering the high rates of youth unemployment in the area. In the field of healthcare, it was stressed how important it was to fortify health systems and enhance access to necessary services. Social protection policies, such cash transfers and social insurance plans, that assist disadvantaged groups were also discussed. Inclusion and stakeholder participation were prioritized heavily during the conference. All societal groups must actively participate in order to achieve the aims of the AES, as acknowledged by the leaders and participants. The commercial sector, community leaders, and civil society organizations were considered essential collaborators in carrying out the Alliance's programs. To encourage communication between various stakeholders and government representatives, and enable a wider range of viewpoints to be taken into consideration, a number of forums and side events were arranged. As the summit went on, it became evident that the member states' interests and goals were strongly aligned. The conversations were characterized by an atmosphere of cooperation and respect for one another, with participants actively looking for areas of agreement. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger's leaders showed a strong dedication to the AES's tenets as well as a common resolve to surmount the nation's obstacles. The Niamey Declaration, a detailed document summarizing the major agreements and promises made during the summit, was adopted as the summit came to an end. The member states' dedication to social progress, economic integration, and common security was underlined in the declaration. It delineated precise measures to be executed in every one of these domains, encompassing the formation of the Joint Military Task Force, the foundation of the Regional Development Bank, and the execution of diverse social initiatives. In order to assess success and make necessary strategy adjustments, the declaration also called for frequent summits and meetings. Global attention was also drawn to this event. Though the Western media in particular was enthralled, what connection does the West have to this? The strength and influence of the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, are directly threatened by the rise of the African Economic Society, AES, as a powerful and significant organization. Ecowas, which has historically been heavily influenced by France, acts as a conduit for Western interests in the area. Thus, Ecowas's influence is declining as a result of AES strengthening, which also implies that French influence over West African issues is waning. The West must pay great attention to this change and act accordingly. Does this summit mean that French rule in Africa is coming to an end? This summit has demonstrated that the West's dominance over Africa is waning and that the continent's countries are assuming sovereignty. Do you think that this occasion will have a significant impact on Africa? What does that signify down the road? Does this imply being free? Do you believe that AES will ultimately lead to Ecowas' demise? Tell us what you think in the comments section below, and please do not forget to like and subscribe for more educative videos like this one. Thanks for watching.